أنا لها لا أنثني عند الصعاب أنا لها
الرحمن الرحيم. أهلا ومرحبا. Welcome again to our new series as we continue to analyze the 6 fundamental verbs. Today in this lesson we are going to be looking at the analysis of the 5th among the 6 fundamental verbs, which is hasiba. Now in this lesson we are going to look at the analysis of the verb hasiba in its past tense. Thereafter, in our next lessons, we are also going to look at the analysis of the verb in its present and commanding tense. Now, in Arabic language, the past tense, which is fi'l al-madi, it is divided into two. We have fi'l al-madi al-ma'lum, meaning the active past tense, that is when the doer in such a verb will be known. Then the second type is fi'l al-madi al-majhul, that is the passive past tense, that is when the doer in the verb will not be known. Now, let's begin with the first one, which is fi'l al-madi al-ma'lum, the active past tense. Now, here is a table that we have made the analysis of this verb hasiba. Now, this table, as you can see, it is divided into 3 major parts. The first is the mudhakkar, that is the set of verbs that are referring to the masculine gender. Then the second is mu'annath, that is the set of verbs that are referring to the feminine gender. Then we also have mudhakkar, mu'annath, masculine gender and feminine gender. Then the last one is mushtarik, meaning the set of verbs that are referring to both the masculine gender and also the feminine gender. Now, the first verb we have on this table is hasiba, meaning he counted. That is mudhakkar, referring to the masculine gender. Then the next is hasibat, meaning she counted. That is mu'annath, referring to the feminine gender. Then the next is hasibta, meaning you counted, referring to the masculine gender. Hasibti, meaning you counted, referring to the feminine gender. So in Arabic language, when you want to say you counted, referring to a male, you will say hasibta. Then when you are referring to a female, you say hasibti. Then the next is hasibtu, meaning I counted, for both the masculine gender and the feminine gender. So here we have mushtarik, for both the masculine gender and the feminine gender. Then the next will be hasiba, meaning both of them counted, for the masculine gender. Hasibata, also both of them counted, for the feminine gender. Now you can do the same thing with any other kind of verb. For instance, you want to say you sat, so you say jalasta. Then you want to say he wrote, you say kataba. Or you want to say I wrote, you say katabtu. But here, what we are trying to do is, we are trying to lay a foundation on how you can say anything you want with any verb in the past tense using the 6 fundamental verbs, so that on your own you will be able to say anything you want with any other verb. Now the next will be hasibtuma, meaning both of you counted, for the masculine gender. Then we also have hasibtuma, meaning both of you counted, for the feminine gender. Meaning here you can use the verb hasibtuma to refer to both of you counted, for both the male and the female. Then the next will be hasibna, meaning we counted, that is mushtarik, for both the masculine gender and the feminine gender. Then the next will be hasibu, meaning they counted, for the masculine gender. Hasibna, they counted, for the feminine gender. Then hasibtum, meaning you counted, that is a plural form. You counted, for the masculine gender. Hasibtunna, Also, you counted, but for the feminine gender. Then the next will be hasibna, meaning we counted for both the masculine gender and the feminine gender. So this is the analysis of the verb hasiba in the active form, that is fi'l al-madi al-ma'lum. Now let's look at the passive form of the verb, that is fi'l al-madi al-majhul. Now in Arabic language, we earlier said that when you want to change a verb from its active form to a passive form, all you'll be required to do is to change the first letter to dhamma and also change the second to the last letter of the verb to kasra. So here you have husiba, meaning he was counted, that is in passive form. Now the next will be husibat, meaning she was counted. Then the next will be husibta, you were counted, masculine gender. Husibti, you were counted, feminine gender. Husibtu, I was counted for both the masculine gender and the feminine gender. Then the next will be husiba, meaning both of them were counted for the masculine gender. Then the next will be husibata, meaning both of them were counted, feminine gender. Then the next will be husibtuma, meaning both of you were counted for the masculine gender. Then husibtuma, both of you were counted for the feminine gender. Meaning here, the verb husibtuma can be used for both the male and the female. Meaning both of you were counted. Now, the next will be husibna, meaning we were counted for the masculine gender and the feminine gender. Then the next will be husibu, meaning they were counted for the masculine gender. Husibna, they were counted for the feminine gender. Husibtum, meaning you were counted, that is plural. For the masculine gender, husibtunna, you were counted for the feminine gender. Husibna, meaning we were counted. Now, please help me practice and master these verbs very well. And also, it is very important you start using some of these verbs in making some little sentences. And lastly, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.